Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here for a weekend reads video and I'm excited about this weekend because it is basically self-care weekend. It's already the middle of Saturday or kind of late on Saturday, but my husband works all weekend and so I have a lot of time to myself to just do whatever I feel like doing, which is what I'm doing. And I wanted to sit down and let you know kind of what I'm in the middle of because I haven't really done a lot of weekend read Friday reads videos lately, and I really like them because they're casual and casual is my style. And I want to get as much use out of this background as possible, if I'm being honest. So the first thing that I'm reading, I have been reading for quite a while and I'm surprised it's taking me so long to read this. But I think it's more that I'm just really interested in the other things that I've been reading alongside of it, which is one of the pitfalls to reading multiple books at a time. And that is Gen City. So I've talked about this, I feel like, a ton. I pre-ordered it before it ever came out, and that was almost a year ago that it came out. So I really need to get to this. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm about 150 pages in. It is a little bit slower and not dense, but just sort of like not exactly what I expected it to be. I expected it to be a little bit more fast-paced and to have a lot more kind of like gen politics in it. I mean, it is mostly gen politics, but in like a kind of like, it's not in a really exciting, flashy kind of way, which is, I guess, what I expected, but it's a little quieter of a novel, which surprises me because I don't really associate genies with being quiet. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I am hoping that it picks up the pace. I think that's the main thing, is that it is much slower in pace than I was anticipating, and so I'm having a little bit harder time getting through it when I'm reading other things that have faster paces that make this feel a little bit slower than it even is. So I'm also in the middle of a book that I did not intend to read. I sort of intended to read it. So basically I've been seeing this book everywhere on BookTube, and my interest was piqued from the very beginning, but I just was like, I don't really want to get into another series. I'm not really in the mood for that kind of thing. And then I was watching Elena's vlog from the book festival that she recently went to, and she showed a picture of the second book in this series, and I thought, you know, that would be a really good thing to get my niece for Christmas, who's super into reading but has been kind of acting like all the books that are for her age range are not cool enough for her. So I thought this would be right up her alley, and I am of course talking about Nevermore. So this has been everywhere on BookTube, and it is as cute as everybody says it is. So I intended to get this as a Christmas present for her, and then I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and order it, and then maybe I'll read it to make sure that she will actually be able to read it, because she's 8, I think. Yeah, she's 8. And I think that this is gonna be something that's in her, like that she's at the reading level for this, and also I think she'll really enjoy it. Basically, this is the story of a girl named Morgan, and she thinks she's cursed, or she might be cursed. I'm not really sure 100% yet. And how she ends up in this trials thing for the Wondrous Society. Not good at explaining it. I genuinely have not read the blurb, so I don't know what the premise of it, except for I've kind of heard about, like, I've heard people talk about it on BookTube, and I've read now 150 pages of this, and it is so much fun. It's definitely not a, so it is kind of, when I think of middle grade books, I feel like there's like a split where they're either really like childish or they're kind of borderlining on young adult. I feel like this borderlines toward young adult in that the writing is, it doesn't like talk down or simplify things. It's definitely very rich in writing style, rich in characters, rich in world development, and I think this is a middle grade book that would appeal to adults and children alike. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really hoping that my niece enjoys it as well. And the last book that I am in the middle of is my audiobook that I'm listening to right now, and I genuinely want to say what took me so long, because every time I heard about this book, from the moment I first heard about it, then I read the blurb, and then I just kept hearing about it, and every time I was like, this book is 110% in my wheelhouse. Like, this is exactly the kind of book that I like. This is exactly the genre of this type of book I like, and just everything. And it just took me so long to pick it up. I picked it up because of another project that I am working on. You guys will see probably closer to the end of the month, beginning of next month. And I'm so thrilled that that pushed me to pick it up, because I'm about 150 pages. Apparently this is the 150 page mark reading weekend reads. Into The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is phenomenal. Like, this is really good historical fiction, and I feel like this would be something that even people who aren't super into historical fiction would love. So it's just told really well. It's about this Hollywood starlet who is much older. She is telling her story to a young writer and basically bearing all, and I am really loving not only the character of Monique, who's the writer, and like Evelyn as an older woman, but also just the way she tells her own story about Evelyn as a young woman and the things that she had to do in Hollywood, the way that Hollywood was, and the way that she was different from people in Hollywood. And it doesn't suffer from that whole I'm not like other women thing, because it's not that she never says I'm not like other women. She's really just telling her story. And yes, she was different than most of the people around her in Hollywood at the time, but she doesn't use that crutch really. Like, she's really telling this incredibly layered story about this young woman growing up in Hollywood and making something out of herself, and I love it. And then I have two books that I am hoping to get to, not this weekend because I'm at the 100 page mark of those two, but I am hoping to get to one of these before the end of the month. The first one is The Collected Poems of Emily Dickinson. I am in the middle of this, so I am like 130 pages, so 150 pages. But I've been reading this for years. I just dip in and out of it for readathons usually, but I am very near to finishing this, and this is a Victorian read. So I wanted to try to concentrate on finishing this before the end of Victober, because this has been on my TBR / currently reading for so long that I would like to get it off of there. And also I want to participate in Victober. And then the other one is also a Victober read, and this is one that was inspired by Doris and her TBR for Victober, which I'll link down below if you haven't seen it. This is a picture of Dorian Gray. I recently picked this up at the used bookstore. I have a book that's an adaptation of this, so I really want to get to this so that I can read that. And this is a short little book. Doris said it was fantastic. Again, it's another Victober read. And I want to read something for Victober. I don't think I've ever participated in it, and that is disappointing. If you don't know what Victober is, I will link a video down below, like the announcement video that will explain it. We're halfway through Victober. Basically, it's reading Victorian literature in October. But yes, so I am hoping to get to this. Basically, I just need to finish one of the two books I'm in the middle of, and then I will pick this up. And even if I don't finish it this month, I want to read it into November, because it is, I don't know, I find classics to be a very like autumn, fall, winter thing. So I definitely want to get to this throughout the autumn, fall, winter. So yes, that is it. I mentioned November, so I will probably have a video upcoming that is going to be my nonfiction on my TBR. I try to do this every year just to kind of show the nonfiction that I have in case it strikes an interest with anybody, and I'm definitely going to be participating in that as well. I know one book that I plan to read for sure, but I will save that one for that video. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. I know that commenting can be hard, so like other booktubers, I do want to encourage you to leave an emoji down below just to say that you are here and watched the video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!